sneezed 3 times in my mic because I thought it was muted during our Lost Mines game.
I sneeze at work and people can hear me in the front. And I work in a warehouse with loud machinery.
It sounds like you're over dying.
You sneeze and they call the fire department.
Right.
I sneeze and all I hear is every big manly guy turn around and they go, "Bless you. That is the manliest sneeze in the world. We are not worthy."
It's not even a manly sneeze. That's not even a manly sneeze. That's one of those sneezes where that's where you hear that sneeze and you expect to look over and see the person with their hands on their knees. That's one of those sneezes.
Dying.
Yeah, that's one of those take the wind out of your lungs sneeze. You gotta sit there for a second with your hands on your knees going, whew.
It's one of those bust your rib cage whenever you sneeze.
Exactly.
Nah, everybody will put their boxes down and be like, "Oh, Zama-sam." Like, no, stop that shit. He will fight all the germs in the vicinity with his own breath.
All right, I guess the game's all here. All right. In the meantime, did any of you ever say who picked up that scimitar?
I mean, I'll pick up the scimitar. Fuck it. I just lost the horse.
All I know is I have fire salts.
Yes.
All I know is y'all killed my horse.
Didn't who was it? I don't know. Somebody.
I was AFK. So the DM killed the horse.
No. See, the horse went down. I brought back up the healer, and everyone said, "Fuck that horse," and let my horse die.
Yeah, I still feel bad about that because I was like, I realized after the fact.
Prioritized a character over an NPC. How tragic.
What character? All the characters were already up.
I realized the fact that he had a mass cure wounds left, and I didn't know. So.
Not only that, you could have just used spare the dead.
And dying, yeah.
Spare the dying there.
There will not be a next time. It's like, help me, I'm down. You got it. The only healing potion. Yeah, but so is my new steed, so fuck you.
I'm back. Okay.
All right.
Was it 6 healing potion and 1 greater?
All right, Mr. Soren, are you here too?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, last time, you narrowly managed to escape death as a crazy man screamed about his best buddy, Varashna, and promptly blew himself up. Taz has claimed the strange smoldering scimitar from what was once the fire elemental. Fang, you managed to gather some fire salts. They singed your hand a little bit, but you hope for now that their container will hold. And you are currently sitting on a charred battlefield, death and destruction.
So,
investigate the other corpses. The other mages, I want to say. Casters.
Oh, I have an iron pot. Can I just put the fire salts in that?
Yeah. If you do that, then definitely better than a vial, as you're pretty sure what is essentially cast iron is. It's not going to melt anytime soon. So, you have anything to put over it? Or are you just like essentially doing cheesecloth?
I assume it comes with a lid. It just is always. Anytime you look at it, it just says iron pot.
I remember you said. I think you specified that you got the nicest set that you could find, so it would definitely have.
Oh yeah, I did. I went out after everyone had left. I went out and said I was buying the nicest set of pottery that I could for you to cook with.
Yeah, every once in a while you hear a weird pop. It almost sounds like popcorn, but you just kind of ignore it and keep the pot closed. The lid jingles around a little bit, but you just keep it secured. And Lawrence, you said you want to investigate. If anyone wants to investigate, it'll be investigation. If more than one person is going to investigate corpses, then it'll just be advantage on whoever has the highest investigation for assistance. Okay. Let's see. So you go through the corpses, what's left, and there's not really anything with the pyromancer anymore. He pretty much all of his belongings were vaporized. But you look at these priest guys, and it seems like they actually had a decent little chunk of change. Either they were very affluent, or more than likely, from what you can gather, they were, in the way they were talking, they were probably gonna make some sort of tribute, and they have 80 gold pieces each. So you manage to scrounge up 160 gold. Aside from that, you find essentially imagine a flail, but the head of the flail has been replaced by an incense burner or censer. And so functionally it's just a flail, but it's a very strange, ornate flail, and it has that bowl there for carrying flames. It just seems like they hadn't had it attached, as you notice that they were holding it in their hand, but on the side there's a little loop to hook a chain into.
I know a flail-wielding companion that would love that thing.
Yeah, perhaps the cleric should be the one holding it.
I give everybody 16 gold each.
All right.
And I don't know who's got the other 40 or the other 80.
Yeah, you found 160 total, so.
Yeah, 32 gold then.
And I have to check something for you, Lawrence.
That is 32 gold pieces a piece. God damn it.
That's what he said. God damn it.
I heard 16.
I heard 16 as well.
Well, 160 divided by 5. 32.
Yeah, he said 16, then he said it was 160 total, then he went 32. I got you back,
right.
Oh.
16 or 32?
You want to stop choking on that
It's
dick
30.
over
It's
there?
32. It's 32. So, Lawrence, would you like to give me a religion check?
You know, aren't flails martial arts weapons?
Martial weapon. Yeah. Flails, yeah, they're martial.
Yeah, I can't even use them anyways.
Nice.
Yes, you can. You're a cleric.
No.
I don't think
certain clerics get.
Yeah, only certain clerics.
I'm thinking paladins.
Okay, so you take a closer look at these, and they were pretty obvious incense burners at first glance. But upon closer inspection, you realize that you can't. Well, I have to check your languages before I make this claim. Okay, so you can't make out what exactly the script says, but there's script written on it that the way you recognize, or the way it's placed there, you recognize that as generally on incense burners like these, no matter what language it's in, it seems like an almost universal tradition or universal habit that when they're sort of ring around the bowl like this, it tends to signify that whatever this is was actually meant to be placed on some altar instead of just carried. And and it's possible that, and judging by the fact that they don't have any chains on them, you can deduce that more than likely you caught them in the middle of transporting these. And so, these are not necessarily supposed to be handheld.
Can anybody read these scriptures? And I'll pass it around.
Okay. I have to look.
Man, I got Goblin John and Thieves Can't. Unless it's one of them, I got nothing.
Do any of you know Draconic or any language that uses a Draconic script?
Yes, and a Draconic.
Okay, so you can't quite make out exactly what this says, but it's very clear to you that this is a Draconic script. And I'll say you can give me an intelligence check to try and make out more.
I'm not good at this. Oh.
Okay, so you recall learning Draconic and you think about some of the facts of the language in the script. And it's hard to say which one came first, but you know that this script must, at least from signs and symbols that you've seen in the past, it must at least be old as the origin of Draconic itself, and it's definitely not in anything that you would see being used by demons or anything like that. So you know for sure that this is Draconic script. It's not infernal, and it doesn't seem to be any modern version of Draconic.
Yes, this is some form of ancient Draconic. Very, very old. Don't really know what it says. Or I do know what it says. Do I? No.
You can't really make anything out. You see a couple things here and there that suggest to you that this is very similar to words in Draconic. It's written almost the same way, but it's mostly mundane things. Like you'll see the or it or just basic common words that really don't have any context on their own.
Right. Well, it's obviously important. Not really sure exactly what's happening there with it.
You think we should keep it or get rid of it?
Yeah, hold on to it for a bit. We might just need some more help identifying exactly what it does.
So how many were there? Just one or a couple?
There are two. One from each priest. I should say that they're not identical. They have the same script and they're close, but some of the words are different. You can tell just by looking.
So, should we rest? I'm a little tired after that battle.
So am I.
Anyone? Thoughts?
Yes, a rest would be greatly appreciated.
And then we go check out the dig site or whatever's down there.
All right, so
we should probably set up some sort of guard system.
Do I get rages back on a short rest, or is it only a long rest?
I don't recall. Let me see. I think it's long rest, but I could be wrong. Yes, it's long rest.
Gotcha.
You should have 4 rages now, unless you multi-classed.
I used one in the last fight, so I have 3.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, so are you all planning on taking a short rest?
I believe so.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, yeah. Just a little bitty short rest.
Taz.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to roll me an Arcana check?
Wow. Okay. Yeah, let's let Taz roll Arcana. 13.
So last time you took a look at this curved horn, you were starting to get the idea that it has to do with some sort of communication. And after all the talk and pouring over the scripts and that sort of thing, you realize that from what you can tell, this definitely has to do with a language. In other words, you get the sense now, after spending several nights looking over this, even with your limited magic knowledge, that it's very possible that this horn is some sort of translation device.
Interesting. But I was told it tells lies.
You're not entirely sure about it. All you know is that it seems to be involved in communication, whether that means it can communicate on its own or whether that's sort of medium with your communication. You have no idea yet.
Okay.
As for the scimitar you picked up, it doesn't take much. It's pretty obvious. You look around, and you pass it around a bit, and people give their thoughts on it, and you realize this is a flame-tongued scimitar.
Ew. Tell me more.
And you can't quite make use of it at the moment. It does require attunement, but you know that if you could manage to attune to it and form a bond with it, then at the spoken command word, it would be wreathed in flames, much like how it was whenever the elemental was wielding it.
Okay, so do I get to make my own command word, or I gotta figure out how the command word is?
You'll get to make it.
Cool.
I have to.
So is it like a +1 or anything, or just a regular?
It's, from what you can tell, it seems to be just a flame tongue. And I was wrong. You can attune on a short rest. So if anyone wants to attune to anything that they have, they can do that on a short rest. But
you fire damage instead of slashing, essentially.
No. So the way it works, I'll have to send it to you.
Okay.
It requires attunement, and there you go. That's flame tongue.
So now that we're all rested, should we explore?
I give the. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. All right, go ahead.
I was gonna say I give the flame tongue scimitar a few swings after short rest, more than go Might as well.
Yeah, it's a bit on the heavy side, but you notice that despite the fact that it's a bit on the heavy side, it's heavier all around, proportionate to about a regular scimitar. So it's balanced the same as your average scimitar. It's just a bit heavier. Nothing extreme. Maybe an extra pound and a half, something like that. Enough to make a difference, but it was crafted well enough.
Okay.
And unless anyone else needed to do anything on that short rest out of the ordinary hit dice and restoring short rest things and all that, then we can go to.
Anybody else need healing?
Not really. I'm like 6 points away from fulls. I want to ask the other guys.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm back to full.
I keep forgetting I have certain health skills other than my spells.
That's the problem with all the medic feats.
No, I have Preserve Life that works similar to Paladin's Lay on Hand. No. Well, and nobody else wants healing. Should move on then.
Yes, let's go in the caves. Or whatever, dig site.
All right, is anyone scouting ahead in particular? Is it you, Soren, or?
I mean, we all have to go down, right?
I'll scout ahead.
All right, I was asking if anyone was trying to creep in stealthily first, or if you all were just walking in together as a party without stealth.
Oh, I'll definitely creep in stealthily. What you think this is?
Anyone that wants to go in with Taz after him, behind him, whatever, or before him, roll stealth.
I'll be sure to stay all the way in the back.
Oh, Soren. I like it.
Okay, so Soren, Taz, you all lead the vanguard here. One of you takes one side of the staircase, and Taz, you take the other. And you're creeping through, and at first it's incredibly dark. And you realize that there are braziers with fresh kindling and all, but they simply haven't been lit yet. And as you creep through, you go through this very long hallway. It feels like it takes several minutes to get all the way down the hallway, but then when you get to the end, you look back and realize that it wasn't that long after all. It just, your senses, it seemed like time was almost slowed for a bit, as it was just so monotonous and dark. But as you get to the threshold, if either of you want to move up to that threshold, it'll be a perception check.
I'll let you do it. I got like a +1 in perception.
Not much better.
Yeah, it's just one of us to roll it, or
if you want to do a system, that's fine. But
yeah, I'll system.
In that case, you can re-roll in Soren for advantage.
Nope.
Okay, so you keep an eye in and ear out. And at first it seems relatively quiet. But then you hear a disturbance. And you can't quite place your finger on what it is until you shuffle around a bit to press up against the wall to maybe get another perspective. And as you shuffle, you feel something begin to slide. You catch yourself and look at it and realize that there's a switch. It's sort of a loose brick. And about that time, you hear this disturbance getting closer. And it happens. Then again, and every time it's a few feet closer until you see at the end of the hallway, out of these braziers come these spouts of flame. They come about 10 feet out, they meet each other in the middle, and then it moves on to the next set of braziers. As it comes to the threshold, nothing happens at the threshold. Within the braziers that you just passed, they alight with flame, and then it keeps going until it reaches the end. And once it reaches the end, you hear it once more start back at the end of the hallway before you, and it seems like it just rotates, just constant flames.
Can we leave?
I should say that I should specifically mention this. You didn't depress the switch all the way. So from what you can tell, you didn't necessarily activate these. This was already happening. However, you do know that there's a switch there. You're not sure what it does, of course.
I'm going to go back and get the rogue to deal with this shit. Yes, Ty, there's like a switchy thingy, and I don't know. Can you figure it out?
All right, no. Trying to take a crack at the switch. Let's see.
Just to see what the switch does.
Okay, so as you begin to fiddle with the mechanism, you hear the flames start to die out. And then, unfortunately, before you can figure it out all the way, you fumble a bit and have to withdraw your thieves' tools as to not jam the switch, and you hear the flames alight once again whenever the switch comes all the way out.
I gesture to him to see if I can take a crack at it. Is it?
I moved out the way.
Oh, you didn't say anything. I'm proficient at these tools, right? Because I am one level of rogue.
I think that's a thing. Let me.
Or is that only if I'm a first level rogue? If I'm a rogue, if my base class is rogue, I
first
don't
level.
Know.
It says it's just that whenever you're a rogue at first level, you can choose 2 skill proficiencies. Oh, you're talking about the multi-class thing. Let me double check that. I have to check the multi-class table. I want to see if you get it, but I don't know for sure.
Because I've been like rogue for like...
Yes. If you multi-class in a rogue, you automatically get Thieves' Tools proficiency, so...
That's a negatory soldier.
Pretty much the same deal. You hear the flames begin to weaken as you depress the mechanism, and then you have to withdraw your tools.
All right.
I hand him his tools back and just beat the shit Numpkin.
One more again. Now that I see what's going on,
dexterity. Yeah, I'll try to give him advantage by pointing things out.
Okay, so you can roll again for advantage.
Since we both made the same mistakes.
No, that's not what I wanted to do. Disable. Ignore that. That is rolled with strength.
Yeah. I saw your missing thing there.
There it goes. Holy
okay,
crap.
So just as you're about to run in the same situation as beforehand, Taz starts to point something out and then has a better idea and simply reaches out and uses his hand to hold the switch. And so whenever he does that, you have a clear open space to work. And you manage to fiddle with the mechanism and test it without moving the actual switch itself at all. And whenever you activate the mechanism, you hold it there with your thieves' tools. And momentarily, the flames die out completely. Until until they reach the threshold where you're at, and then they begin again. And so from what you can tell, this switch controls the flames in the hallway ahead of you.
So it's safe to cross now, right?
You would have to time it to get from the staircase to where you all are at, but after that, from what you can tell, with that switch press, the flames are off through the next hallway, yes.
Well, who wants to be the guinea pig?
To do what now?
To run the gauntlet.
I mean, I'll go ahead and I'd say either me or Ty were probably the fastest.
Yeah, but he's got to stay back, I think, to like hold the button, right?
Cool. Is that with an athletics check? I'll check. I'll run out there.
Yeah, if you're just gonna sprint, athletics.
24.
Okay, so as soon as you step on there, you hear a flame spout behind you, and you hear what sounds like a fuel ignition ahead of you. And you realize that if it weren't for the fact that Ty is currently holding that switch pressed, then you would have been hit by flames on both sides. But instead, you're able to sprint, and you just pretty much Usain Bolt gun it. And you just sprint down this hallway like a football player. And you manage to reach the end, and just as you're about to come to the threshold, you skid to a stop, almost tumble over, but manage to catch yourself and step into the doorway. And the flames stop about a foot. Or about 6 inches in front of your face, and you see a same style switch in the doorway that you're standing in, same position as it is on the other doorway.
I'll go ahead and press it.
Okay, so whenever you do, Ty, unless you do anything to stop it, you feel the switch begin to pull on your tools, and if you retract them, the switch locks in place at the same time that Taz presses his, and all the flames die out.
As I sprint down the hallway.
All right, you get down there without a problem. There are no more flames, at least through that hallway.
The second he gets towards me, I just clothesline him out. No, I'm kidding.
Turns the switch back on.
No, I don't even take my hand off the switch. Once he gets to me, just clothesline his hands while he's going full speed. Just
cunning action, backflip.
Oh snap! He's gonna pull some Will Ospreay shit.
Yeah.
So what's the next hallway look like?
They're actually. Well, before I describe that, if anyone is proficient in history, go ahead and give me a history while I pull this up.
Soren.
Okay, Soren. As you go down the hallway, nervous a little bit at the idea of being roasted at any point, but you manage to get there safely. You take notice of what's on the walls, and you see people dressed. You see carvings of people dressed much like the priests outside with the censers. And in fact, in these etchings, they're carrying the censers, and flames are attacking them from both sides, but they seem calm. And it seems like this was built specifically as a literal trial by fire, because only people who had such a mastery of flame that they were completely immune to it were supposed to pass through this. And it seems like it was a matter of practicality to have this mechanism to activate and deactivate that. As you see on another wall in the next hallway, it seems like these priests are hobbled over now, and they're drawn with these long beards, and then eventually it seems like they're just tombstones etched, and it's supposed to be a sort of 1,000 years etched into one wall of the dying of whatever this ancient priesthood was. What you do see in front of you, however,
is swinging blades. Oh,
yes, of course. Swinging blades on fire. Swinging horses with lances on fire. But no.
Holy crap.
So you see in front of you a dead end. So you get to the doorway and you kind of dust things off and you push open these two small doors, and it looks like just a wall with more etchings on it. There's a priest. He looks. You can't tell at first, but upon closer inspection and dusting off, it looks like a very young man, and he's got his eyes closed, and he's posed like you would see a saint posed in a lot of churches and cathedrals around the Forgotten Realms. And he holds these censers, one in each hand, and seems to be looking up with a serene look on his face, and it just appears to be a dead end.
I'm gonna grab the sensors and do the pose like how he did it.
Okay. Give me a.
No, never mind.
Give me a wisdom save.
Oh shit. 15.
Okay, so you feel yourself being drawn toward this etching, physically, not necessarily yanked, but as if something is telling you to walk toward it. But you manage to shake out of that, and whenever you open your eyes and look, you're still in the pose, but now this saint, the etchings, the eyes seem to have been opened, and they're aglow with this yellowish, orangish, fiery flame. Fiery light, this sort of small flame. It almost looks like a gemstone. And yeah, you don't see anything open, but you notice that it's definitely changed, and you can swear that you see a bit of a shimmer pass over the wall.
Well, that was really weird, first of all. Secondly, there might be something beyond this wall. It doesn't seem real. Can I try to, pass through it?
Is that what you want to do?
Oh, he's doing
Okay, cool stuff. Yeah, give me an investigation then. It'll be Well, okay, with your perception, you take a closer look, and while this does seem like it would be a great setup for some sort of summon trap or hidden creature, from what you can tell, there's no one in here except for your party members. If you want to look for more clues, you can do that investigation. But okay,
wow, what is
so so you look closer at it, and what you notice is that, yes, the obvious thing is that the eyes are different, but what's not so obvious is that it went from looking dingy and dusty to just immaculately clean. So clean, in fact, that you think with the time this must have been built in, even with regular maintenance, there's no way this naturally could have stayed clean. And you are very confident that this is magically hidden, that this is simply an illusion.
I poke it.
Your finger passes through.
I pass through.
I follow.
I follow after that.
Walking.
Okay.
Should we go get the others first, or?
Oh, did you all never get them?
Yeah, no, I'm still staying up here. We've been up here.
Yeah,
Technically, I think I was the only one left behind because you came back for the rogue.
Well, Lawrence
was still there. Just chainmail is.
Just awkward silence between you two.
We come back, we just see us having tea.
So, did anyone go back to get them, or did you all take the hint that they've been gone too long?
I mean, if I would have thought about it, because I'm like, okay, we're going a little bit too far in here, I would have gone back to get him.
Since we disabled. Yeah, since you disabled things. In that case, you all, if you'd like to, are able to link up. And you say that you pass through?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll pass through once I get back down there, but...
Okay. So, when you pass through, immediately you feel this heat wash over you, and it goes from being dark to very brightly lit. And what you see before you is this great fiery, it almost looks like it's made out of charcoal in some places, this hall. It's been very deliberately constructed, very sturdy, and you feel like you haven't gone deep enough for it to even look like this, but somehow or another, it almost feels like it's so deep that it's built into the side of a mountain. And there are these braziers with huge flames bellowing out. And in the middle, there seems to be an altar with a statue of someone, hood on, face downturned. This is what you all see.
Artwork.
Episode 3.
It's over, Fang. I have the high ground.
And is anyone in this party proficient in Arcana?
I would have to venture a guess that maybe Soren would be, but...
Yeah, I am.
Okay, if anyone's proficient in Arcana, give me a roll on that.
Nope.
You know that there's... You close your eyes and you feel the overwhelming presence of fire magic, and then you open your eyes and realize it's not fire magic, that's 6 literal braziers of giant flames.
It's really hot in here.
Yeah, it's very hot, and it's definitely uncomfortable, but strangely, if you get any closer to the flames, they don't seem to get hot to the point that they seem like they're going to harm you. They just get hot to the point where it's just enough that it's very uncomfortable, but it's still bearable. And they don't seem to get any hotter past that. They definitely flicker in a strange way.
I put my hand over one of the flames.
Your hand is engulfed in flame for a few seconds. You can pull your hand out of the fire, and it trails behind your hand and leaves little smoke signals in the air, but it doesn't seem to actually harm you.
I look at my hand and go, it doesn't burn.
Does the room just go on, or does it end right there?
So, yeah, I should describe this a little better. So you guys come out of here, and as you turn around, you can clearly see the hallway you came from. You see this altar here, and if you look down this way, there's a very large, ornate, it almost looks like a coffin. It's so big, but upon closer inspection, it looks more like a chest, but it's coffin size. It's massive, and it's made out of stone. It's basically the size of a sarcophagus, and it's built on a staircase similar to this. It also has a giant urn that's sitting on the center of it, just on a pedestal.
What's on this side? What is this statue of?
That seems to be an altar, and all you can tell of the statue right now is that it's some sort of man with a hood on, and his face is downturned. There's something written at the base of it, but you cannot make it out. It's in the same. It's in the same script.
Does the urn look like the braziers would fit in there, or in one of them?
It's a tall urn, but it's not that wide. It sort of looks like it almost reminds you of a lot of the urns and basins that keep holy water and other cathedrals and things you've been in. But it doesn't look like it fit anywhere in particular. However, you do notice that a bit of smoke kind of drifts up from it every once in a while. Not necessarily a constant stream, like if there was a flame, but more like little puffs here and there. And it makes
I
noise.
See what we're doing. Can I dip the flail in one of the fires?
You do, and not only does the flame catch on what kindling is left there, but also after a moment, the script around the sensor begins to light, a la that scene from Lord of the Rings where he puts the ring in the fire. It's sort of like that.
Yeah. And I'll do the same with the second one.
Okay, you do, and they seem to form a link, but after a moment, you feel a little better about this because it's not exactly the same, but it startles you for a moment, Soren, because a chain forms between the two, strikingly similar to the one that was binding those two servants of the king's throne all those years ago at the siege. But you managed to shake that off, and you realize that it's just a stream of fire that seems to be connecting these two, similar and to the other braziers, and how the flame is harmless. It's the same deal.
Now, can I light the urn?
You can if you wish.
I don't. Does anyone think this is a bad idea?
I'm going to inspect the altar to see if I can just looking around the altar.
Okay. Give me an investigation then. If anyone's helping, is anyone looking with them, or is everybody staying where they're at? Is anyone looking with others?
Shot in the face.
I'll help if it gives him advantage.
Yeah, I'm asking if you're doing the assistance.
Yeah, I'll assist.
All right, so investigation with advantage. Okay.
Didn't even need it. But yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for having me back.
So you're looking around and you just see more of the same cryptic stuff, same script from earlier. And then as you go to turn away, you notice something on the statue's ankle. And upon looking closer, you notice that it seems to be it seems to be an ankle bracelet of sorts. Oh, it almost looks like a shackle. And on it is a different sort of script. And despite the fact that you have no idea what this script is, somehow or another, you can understand what it says. It's almost like you're looking at it and thinking of it logically. You know that you don't recognize the language, but somehow you garner meaning from it as you look at it. And it seems to read clearly, fires come from below as well as above. That's all it says. Actually, I should say, I don't know if you know any other languages that you would recognize this or not. No, okay, no. You don't have anything in common with it. No, so nobody else sees this currently. It's only you, but you can definitely read this.
I'll repeat it out loud, just in case one of the other guys has an idea of what it is.
I mean, none of you recognize the saying, but if any of you look at it, I have to take some gainers at your languages. Soren.
Yep.
So, out of nowhere, strangely, you hear Taz speak Infernal.
Oh,
and you can tell what he says. He says fires come from below as well as above, but it strikes you as strange because you've never heard him speak Infernal before. And Taz, to you, you're just speaking common.
Why are you speaking in Infernal?
I can't speak Infernal. It's what this chain says.
And Soren, if you take a look, it's very clearly written in Infernal, that script on the ankle.
Yeah, it's, this is in Infernal. You can just read it. Like, do you know that language?
No. I've never spoken Infernal before.
Well, how is this happening?
I'm only repeating what the chain says.
Hey, someone else, can you read this also?
If any other ones look at it, it's also an Infernal.
But they can read it?
No. Only Taz can. I mean, if you know Infernal, then you can read it. But to everyone else, it's Infernal, whether or not they can read Infernal. Taz, you can clearly see that the script is not common, but for some reason, meaning it comes into your mind as you look at these strange symbols.
I mean,
and it seems that whenever you try to repeat, whenever you try to repeat that, it just basically came out as Infernal. Strangely, if you repeat it again, it comes out as common. Now that you take another look at it.
So is it the same with the lights on the braziers, or is that just something I don't recognize as well?
No, you don't recognize that script. This script's different.
Okay.
Sword, you know Infernal, and you know that all the other script had something in common with Draconic. It was definitely not Infernal, but this is Infernal on this bracelet.
I don't think you should mess with that. It's of the demon world.
What does it mean?
Not sure. What did it say exactly again?
Yeah.
Fire comes from below as well as above.
Well, it could refer to dragons as well as demons.
Yeah.
Everything else is in Draconic. Everything here is in Infernal. They're connected somehow.
And Taz, out of nowhere, give me a perception check actually first.
With my +1, oh damn.
Okay, so out of nowhere, you hear the saying again, and you realize it seems like it's coming from right next to you, but if you turn, there's nothing there. You hear it, and it's coming next to you again. And you look down and realize it actually seems like this voice is emanating from your hip. And sure enough, you see the horn hanging there.
Oh. I look over at Soren and go, it seems the horn is translating it for me.
Oh, that was a special gift you got, right?
Indeed.
Well, I guess it's a little bit helpful.
Does it seem like is it getting like it wants something, or is it just repeating the Infernal to me?
Oh, it's just anytime you try to comprehend it, you just hear this voice. No one else seems to hear it, but it's like a translator essentially, from what you can tell.
Okay, but it doesn't. But if I look at if I look at one of the appraisers where it's been lit up because he stuck something in it, it doesn't say anything. It doesn't translate it for me.
No, none of the other strange Draconic script, only Infernal.
Gotcha. So I start looking around the room for more Infernal.
You look around and you don't really find any more. I suppose, are you saying that you want to try and test it on other Infernal?
That too. I'm trying to figure out if I can figure out anything out about this room from that little hint that was given to me, or translation that was given to me.
Yeah, there's no more Infernal from what you can tell.
Okay.
Does the room end here? Is this like a dead end?
There's just the altar on one end, and then there's the giant urn sitting on top of what seems to be a huge chest or sarcophagus on the other. There's no more doors other than the one you came through.
All right.
Oh, right. I should say you said you dipped the urn into the fire. You tried to light the urn?
I was going to, and then I asked anyone if they wanted, if they thought this was a good idea, and no one. I've been waiting, kind of, I guess.
Yeah, is there are there any holes in the altar below the altar? Like I know there's like the top of the altar, but is like anywhere someone would put a fire below this altar?
So upon closer inspection, there's this area around the altar itself where there's an elevated stone perimeter, and it seems like that's intended for kindling. You can even see some old wood shavings and things, and it seems like there's almost a small box around the altar that's intended to just make this huge fire.
I look at the others and go, I think he wants me to light up the altar.
Should we light up the urn or the altar, or both at the same time?
Both at the same time with each other.
Yeah, maybe not that.
I take out the flame tongue dagger and I say, burn and giant, so it lights up.
Okay. The scimitar is wreathed in these vibrant flames.
I look at the others. Speak now, or I'm going to do it. No one's saying anything. I'm going to do it.
Okay. Firstly, give me a dexterity save, please.
Me?
Yes.
Okay. That's 11. Once again, Taz gets burned.
So flames shoot up, and you manage to scramble out of the way, but as you do, you slip and fall. And you just pretty much land in a sitting position with your arms out. And the breath almost gets knocked out of you as you narrowly manage to stumble back. Flames shoot up from where you lit, and then flames circle the altar. And you hear this rosin voice, and the flames get higher and higher and higher. But just as this form on the altar begins to shift a little bit, and it almost seems like it's starting to raise its head, but just as it's about to, the flames are snuffed out. And with this loud pop, in fact, it's so loud it almost sounds like a thunderclap. It deafens you all for a moment. And it's pretty disorienting. It's almost like the sound of an explosion without any of the actual force. You see before you, Taz, at the top of the stairs, where you just were before you stumbled down. Form of a woman made entirely of fire appears.
Done it now.
I respectfully greet her with a hello. May I have the privilege of knowing your name? Taz don't know, man. Taz is just like, magic.
Yeah. Get Brenda alive.
She seems to look through you all at first, and she has, despite the fact that she's made of fire, she almost has this calm, peaceful, serene look on her face. And as you say hello, that turns to the meanest, most vicious snarl you've ever seen.
Oh, shit.
And she says, and this almost, it crackles with every syllable, and full of venom, and this not quite shrill, but definitely higher pitched, contemptuous voice you hear. And who gave you authorization to light this brazier?
Yeah, just had to go do some stupid shit, didn't we?
Y'all didn't say shit, now did you? I asked like 3 times. Shut up. Don't start with you didn't say anything. You had many times to go, hey Taz, don't do it.
Could I just leave and we didn't have to do none of this shit?
You know what? I didn't know we had to have permission to light shit in here.
For all we know, we could have just summoned a giant ass demon. Could have done the evil's work or whatever those fuckers were.
Hey,
Are any of you saying this out loud?
Totally. No. This is totally coming out loud. You know what's sad? All of my attacks are basically fire attacks, and she's made out of fucking fire.
And I was considering gaining create water as a spell too.
Okay, so out of everything that was just said, is there anyone that was just completely out of character? Because this is very relevant. Lawrence, were you saying any of that? Okay. And Ty, you said you were saying that in character?
Mm-hmm. I was just gonna say, he heard it from he got the hint from the chain. He didn't know he had to be told, he had to have someone's permission.
She just bursts out into laughter. And after a few moments, she looks at you, Taz, and says, "You read too much into things. That wasn't a hint. The kindling in the firebox was the real hint. That's only written to make those..." And she says it's those venom, those infernal hounds feel a bit better about being contracted here. It was chiseled in later, you see, as a matter of courtesy. But anyhow, you don't seem like a party of people very interested in reviving Varashna. I thought it was those poor, boring priests who were here to do that.
Wait,
a lot of them.
What was that name?
What's a Varashna?
You're the freaking Hey, religion guy. What's Varashna?
Didn't check you can.
Can we all religion? What's going on here? Who's Varashna?
Is anyone asking out loud or?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a good religion, so I would not know.
I don't know if it's originally history. I don't know this place. I'm an outlander.
It would be religion. Shall
roll anything? I just
roll
won't
that
get
I
it.
can, but just say now. This seems very obscure.
Lawrence, do you know anything about that?
Nope. Taz is like, who that? Taz got no clue.
I got a 1 point in religion. Should I give it a shot?
Hey man, I got 1 point rolled in that one. Let's do it. Someone might know. Damn thing.
Where did he get a +4 from?
He's doing guidance or something.
Gotcha.
Looks, if she had a brow, it would be about 6 inches up above her eye right now. And she says, "You mean to tell me that you don't know, and neither of you know?"
Oh, really? With those 2 high scores, we still didn't
have
no He said it was going to be high.
He says, "You have no idea. Then why would you like this?"
Curiosity, mostly.
And
I have a flame. Yeah, I have a flame tongue scimitar. It seemed like it needs to be lit.
Also, the fire people upstairs.
Yeah, so whenever you say that, Soren, she disappears, and then appears a couple of feet behind you with this huge grin on her face, and she says, "I like this one. I agree with him. I think that's as good a reason as any, but tell me, what was the next step of your master plan?"
Mostly we make it up as it goes.
To ask you about this place.
So you spoke to the devil.
A history lesson, is it?
Curiosity doesn't really plan, it just does, and then deals with what happens.
Yeah, please inform us as much as you can about yourself and this place and everything.
She crosses her arms over her chest and does like a finger gun thing. She points one at Soren and one at Taz and says, "See, now you're getting the ideas. The rest of you should follow along. Irresponsible and unplanned ventures are the best." And she disappears again and appears back in front of the group at the base of the stairs this time. She says, "Well, firstly, all you need to know is that the last people I would associate myself with is those damnable priests outside. I hope you've taken care of them."
They killed my horse, so I killed them, yes.
She frowns and she goes, "We'll have to get you another. Anyway, as for the rest of you," she bends forward a bit and takes her finger and she snaps her hand. And with this snap, one of her index finger lights up even more than the others. And she very clearly, it stays in the air as she writes it backwards so y'all can read it. And she says, "My name is Shalaya." She writes that in the air. And then snaps her finger again and it goes up in smoke. She says, after that, "Now, there's probably some dusty old tome that could give you the whole history, but all you need to know is that Varashna here is a very grumpy, very old, sometimes very angry and impatient." She searches for the words and then says, "In your common tongue, you could call him a primordial, who seems to have garnered the interest of this group, whoever they are, and I have a bit of a vested interest in keeping him from ever waking up again. So you probably noticed a bit of my handiwork here. I don't exactly make the place too comfortable. And by now, sweat is pouring down a lot of your faces. Ty, you're pretty used to it. Fire genasi and all. But she continues, but seeing as it's apparently curiosity that drove you all here, tell me the truth. Are you curious enough to try and raise him yourself? I can't imagine that curiosity alone drove you out to the middle of these... Are they woods now? It's been a long time.
Ruins.
Ah, it's not the place it once was then. Well, I mean, that's unfortunate.
What did bring us out here? I kind of forgot from a couple 2 weeks ago.
As Tyan told you that these people were making an excavation, then you found that Beryl Strauss apparently headed this way too.
Yeah, we needed him for some shit also. I forgot that was adjacent to.
Are you sure you didn't make him explode upstairs?
I mean,
she crosses one leg over the other and kind of reclines as if she's sitting in a chair, but she's just in midair, just floating there. And she says, "What does he look like?"
Have we seen Beryl Strauss?
Soren is the only one who's ever seen him.
I'll describe his features.
Okay, so you describe him probably in his late 40s or 50s. He doesn't seem to have aged well. Bald except for a ring of hair on the sides of his head. Tried to grow a mustache, didn't work out. Shaved it not too well. Big nose, pretty, kind of looks like an old decrepit Mario, basically. And she, after a moment, she holds up a finger to stop you and says, "That's enough. I think I know who you're talking about, but from what I understood, he was still outside, so he must have gone somewhere." But she kind of looks up and she looks like she's thinking about something and then says, "He's still around somewhere. Can't quite put my finger on it. But I have a feeling you'll run into him on the way out." That's your only motivation here, is it?
Yes. So, can you tell me what your friend's over here? What's his deal? What he wants? In general, what he likes.
But eventually,
not at
she
all,
wants to keep him.
I've never spoken to him, but if you were saying that to us out loud, she points at you and just completely cuts you off pretty rudely, actually.
That's all his hand up. Is it
on purpose? She just seems like she speaks her mind. Oh. All right, sorry, what'd you say?
Oh no, I was just saying, like, when she did that, he just held his hands up, like yep, and just let her finish.
She just grins and says, "Not my friend, and in fact, I've never spoken to him, only seen him once or twice. He's not very pretty to look on, but unfortunately, I don't know much about him. What I do know, however, is he's thrown himself in with these posers, trying to emulate some priesthood of 1,000 years ago that everyone's forgotten about, and those who do remember hardly care. And as I said, they seem to be interested in reviving Verashna for whatever reason that is. Now, I've heard they've been after a few others too, but Verashna's old friends were never quite known to me. Didn't have a good relationship with them, you see. I've always been a little bit of a troublemaker to them. But that's just because, I don't know, to me, endless hordes of elemental primal beings, each trying to establish their own rule and kingdom and tyranny, doesn't sound like a very fun world to live in, so I've tried what I could to stop that.
Could you go back to the part where elemental beings are taking over the plane? What's that now?
Even I know what the elemental plane is.
I must have been asleep for a long time. You mean you don't? You've not heard the word of Terran?
That should know this, right?
Can't say I have.
Soren, give me a history, actually, on that. Actually, if anybody has proficiency in history, you can roll history.
God damn it, you with this proficiency bullshit. Good and well, he's the only one with intelligence.
Okay, Soren, you recognize the name. Terran is a wizard, but died approximately 800 years ago. You learned about him whenever you were learning about. At one point, you had to do a little bit of infiltration and espionage around some small wizards conclave, and they had, when you were looking through some dusty old tomes, you saw him and some account of him, and it was hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, so he's not been around for a few hundred years, and I'm not that old, only half elf, so I don't know who he is.
She places her hand on her forehead and leans her head back and lets out this sigh. And as she lets out this sigh, a bit of smoke comes out, and she says, "I really need to get caught up." Well, regardless, back in those days, you see, well, long before Terran, he was just one who figured it out thousands of years after it happened. At one point, lots of these elemental beings, like Mr. Varashna here, were each loosed upon this world and each vied for control of their own provinces and regions, you see. Over time, they were banished back to the elemental plane and some outright killed. In fact, Big V here, and she kind of laughs as she says that, is one of those. He is not quite in existence anymore, and it seems like they were going to great length to try and correct that. But what motivation they could have for doing that, I'm not entirely sure. It seems like every 1,000 years or so, more of these nutcases pop up.
Once every 1,000 years.
It's very cliche. In fact, I imagine they get these from some sort of prophetic books, probably written by their own people.
Are you kidding? Once in 1,000 years? That's textbook of bullshit magic.
So you know that every magic spellbook doesn't start with once in 1,000 years, right?
Can you tell me that if there's not a magic book that doesn't say magic bullshit will happen in 1,000 years?
I can give you a few if you'd like. Do you even read?
We're getting off topic. So what do we need to avoid to waking him up so we don't do it accidentally?
Or better yet, make it so he can never be woken up again?
Yes, is that possible? Can we seal him permanently? Wait.
Well, you probably could have to bring him back in the first place to do that. In fact, I think it's a better idea to simply thwart the threat here and leave him into his death and current semi-non-existence, if that makes any sense.
Cool. So what do we do to bring him back so we don't do that? Because I feel like if you're you're very, what's the word I'm looking for? What is the word I'm looking for? Friendly about this whole situation, and I assume that if you're being this friendly to us, he's probably not going to be at all.
Not at all. He's very ill-tempered, as I said, and when you go centuries without speaking to someone, you learn to mind your manners a bit, but trust me, it'll wear off eventually. It gets so dull in here. But now you've woken me up. I've manifested myself, and the problem seems to have been solved for now, so not quite sure what I'll do.
Wait, so you can leave now? You don't have to stay here and guard this anymore?
Well, I could leave at any time I wanted to, but I was so interested in making sure that Varashna never came back that I've kept myself here for quite a long time.
So does it involve the ashes, or because that's the third time I've out of character, the third time I've asked, like, how do we bring him back so we don't do that by accident? Looking what he says while looking at Soren, who was about to stick a flaming.
Who's holding those ears currently at the sensors?
Huh?
I was after like that. She got summoned though. I definitely like stepped down and just like just put him. I don't know, put him on the ground or something.
All right. She seems to disappear and reappear as she does, and it's right next to you, Soren. And she says, "Allow me to demonstrate." She picks up the sensors and holds them in the air on her index fingers, and she says, "Well, the usual way they do this is to simply try and create some vessel or body for the being to return, and then go through a complicated ritual involving many strange alchemical ingredients to bring them back, but not just any body will do, and so instead they tend to graduate, if you will. So they'll start with a small elemental being and continue to transfer and combine essences into larger, more powerful ones until they eventually have a suitable vessel strong enough, usually the form of some physical creature, so that they have a strong manifestation and connection in this plane, but somehow blessed with the elements or cursed with them, depending on your view, so that they can handle such a dimensional shift. And then once they've reached a sufficiently strong vessel, they bring them here and attempt, anyway, to transfer what essence is left of the primordial into them. But it doesn't look like you all are carrying any giant creatures of flame, so I can't imagine that you're here to do that, nor could you do it if you'd like to.
Oh, yeah, no,
I'm technically an elemental.
Ty, do you want big V in you? Is that what you want?
That does not sound fun.
Agreed.
Okay, so should we just leave? Like, you got this? You got this, Shalaya?
Shalaya.
Well, unfortunately, it seems they found a few more than just Varashna here, and I've trusted the others to do their own job, but now that this one seems to be taken care of, and seeing as I haven't had any communication or contact with any others for quite a long time, I'm not so confident anymore. In fact, is it just this barrel that you're after, or were you all planning to look into any of the others?
I'll do anything if I'm paid for it.
Yeah.
She has this big crooked grin on her face, and she looks at you, Ty, and says, "If it's payment you require, just turn right around. There's no one's going to stop you." But she looks to the others for an answer to her question of if you all plan to pursue this any further.
Well, put it this way. We were going to find some guy who has been a part of something weird stuff that's been going on in Neverwinter and Waterdeep, led us here, and it turned out they were trying to bring back some big bad. So I have no problem with taking some others out.
Yes, how many, what others and how many are there?
42 elements. Well, fuck this.
Oh, there are hundreds, but for the ones that are substantial, it's hard to say. These things
where's
around,
the list of the top 10?
She laughs and says, "It shifts around. These beings grow in power and wane in power. Sometimes they take others over, sometimes they're conquered, but usually there's only a few at any given time substantial enough to manifest and start a war. But I'll tell you what. I'll lock this place down. And you all seem to be quite capable, especially you, Mr." And she points to she points to you two, Soren and Taz. You two seem to be very capable, Misters.
Taz Steeled.
It's Taz. Okay, yes, you two seem to be very capable. You see, rushing into situations unannounced and with no real plans is a smart way to go about things. And she laughs, and despite the fact that she's obviously mocking, part of you thinks that she's probably being halfway serious. She doesn't exactly seem like the most contemplative person herself. And you back there, she points at you, Lawrence. She says, "You seem to be nice enough. Maybe it'll make for a good conversation." She gives you a really weird look, Fang, and says, "Good choice of container, at least." She seems to be referring to the fire salt. She says, "Anyway, back to the point. I'll lock this place down, and if you all are kind enough to assist me, then I would like to travel with you. Not in this form, of course, but I imagine we could be some help to each other, and after this is all over, I could return here and have some peace for once, knowing that maybe I've bought myself some extra time, and I'll be able to wait 2,000 years before I have to babysit again."
Do we believe her?
You can inside if you want. At any point you want to inside, you can just tell me.
Put it this way: I was totally going to ask her if she wanted to come with us, and she just offered that. So,
well, I always want to make sure she's being honest. So,
Taz is on board.
You want to know if she's being honest. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Actually, I think you have a different thing for that, right? Where you always get you always get a certain roll or higher if you're trying to tell somebody's lying.
In insight, I can never roll below a 7, and my modifier is like an 8.
Yeah, there you go. So you get minimum 13, I think.
Minimum 15.
Minimum 15, right.
Where is my insight? Oh, my insight is a 9.
So yeah, minimum of 16. It's
so 15 or 16. All right, so 16. You're not too sure, Fang, Taz, but Soren, you're pretty confident, and Ty, you feel the same way. That
I trust her.
She definitely doesn't seem too upfront about everything, but from her demeanor and everything, despite the fact that she's made out of fire, she's human enough, and her mannerisms and her body language, that it seems like she's being pretty much honest about everything she's saying.
Oh no, I wanted to point out that 4 that Taz rolled is perfect, because Taz was going to ask her to come if she wanted to come along anyway. So he's like, I trust her implicitly.
I mean, at least now none of the rooms will be cold.
See?
Well, welcome aboard, I guess.
I put out the fire flame tongue scimitar.
What's your preference for meals?
Dude, she's made of fire. She doesn't eat.
Oh, of course I do.
Or she eats flaming food.
Yes, I in fact prefer the Hearts of Infernals. Abyssals will do.
Holy crap.
And then she just kind of chuckles and shakes her head and says, no, you won't have to worry about that. However, she leans back. What were you saying, Lawrence?
About oxygen or helium?
Well, I could certainly ignite some of that if you'd like it, but helium bomb. There we go.
Right. We need to find a way to make some helium. That's our new finishing move. We just fill a room with helium and she blows it up.
No, I can't remember. There's an element where it makes fire turns blue.
Yeah.
Can't remember what it was. It's a gas.
I know copper is green. I can't remember which one it is.
Helium.
Okay. Can you all do me a favor? Can you all tell me your charisma modifiers? Your exact charisma scores.
10.
Well, I have a 20.
11.
12.
What are we doing?
Charisma
what
score.
Is your charisma score?
Oh, my charisma is 16.
Okay.
It's just oxygen.
But if she's like trying to attach a necklace or anything to somebody so she can spawn off them, I'm the only one that's fire resistant.
Yeah, but I have the flame tongue. What's it called? And I have the penchant for putting things on without asking questions first. So I'm gonna attach to Soren with his 20 in charisma.
So speaking of that, she just gets this big grin on her face all of a sudden, snaps her fingers, and she's gone. And nothing seems to happen for a few moments. It's silent unless you do anything to stop it. For now, Soren, this chain that seems to be made of this reddish, orangish, bronzy color forms around your neck with a large red medallion at the base of it.
Oh, why does he get the bling?
And it speaks out loud to all of you and says, I'm sure I'll get bored of this eventually, but for now, this seems comfortable.
Does it feel comfortable to me?
It just feels like a regular necklace. It's a little warm to the touch, but...
Well, this is strange, but I guess it'll be okay for now.
Out of character, a flaming woman just wrapped herself around your neck and you're being all weird about it. Come on, man, get it together.
Well, somehow I can't stop imagining her as a fire archonaught.
Pretty much. That's
yeah,
more or less
I
what
get.
she looks
yeah, from Skyrim. Yeah, I get. That.
She just doesn't have like the weird magma bits. She just seems to be basically all flame.
Also, you weird peasants, come over here and help me find out whatever she was pointing out so y'all can get paid.
Call me a peasant again, I'll throw you into the fire.
You act like that's gonna hurt me.
Won't burn you, but it'll make me feel better.
It's just like...
Yeah, that's Taz's thing. He doesn't want to hurt anybody, but he really wants to feel like it. So everybody leaves the room, and you're like, "Where's Taz?" And you look back in there, he's just shadow box. He's like, "Oh, I wish the wood."
Right, I'm just like
wood.
Right, I'm
fresh off a nigga's ass.
I'm just over here destroying the statue. Just like chunks are flying.
I wish you would respawn, motherfucker. Come on, damn it! You don't know me. I'm from the streets. I'm fresh off a nigga's ass. Yo, dog,
I'm from Libya.
But yeah, there is a
sarcophagus
chest thing. And that's what she pointed to. She said, "No one's stopping you."
Yeah, I'll go ahead and push it off with my...
Let's go check that out.
Yeah, me and Fang with our muscles go push it off.
Yeah.
The muscle boys. With... I was going to say, we're going to pull a freaking, what's it? God dang it. I can't remember their names from JoJo. Pillarman. We just come out and just push it out. Yeah.
You even pose, bro.
Do you even read? You didn't even finish your sentence. I know, I'm flexing. It's too much trouble.
Like, I swear to God.
So, it seems that whenever you all lift that urn up, a symbol on the sarcophagus lit up too, and it unclasped a little bit.
Do I have to make a strength check on this motherfucker?
Yeah, it's real heavy.
Quinn Brady.
What? Nah. We're just gonna have you and Fang suplex the whole thing at once.
I mean, you act like we can't do it with our combined athletics. That's a 25.
Do I even need to roll?
Roll them bones, dog. I want to see this shit. I want to watch him throw your ass across the room by accident.
That's the wrong.
He's rolling deception. He's pretending like he's pretending like he's helping me. What a dick! Like I said, he's pretending like he's helping me.
I'm a chef, damn it.
Why am I
in fire crypt? Am I getting an egg?
I mean, there might be a fire egg in here. It's a dragon's egg. This is mine. This is my new steed.
Okay. So, you push this open with all your strength, and you press this stone lid to the side. And inside, it is absolutely filled to the brim with shiny coins, gems, and other valuables, as well as a small chest in the center of this pile.
Please tell me we have a bag of holding.
Yeah, I was going to say, do we have a bag of holding? I mean, Taz can definitely carry up to 270 pounds of gold, but it's a lot of gold.
I can carry a lot too.
So bitches get to carry it, goddammit.
Hold on. Someone check
push his face into the gold.
Just fill that up and carry that.
I gotta check what the chest is. What's inside the chest?
Okay, so you're looking in the chest.
Yep.
Wait, no.
Okay. Boom. No. Okay, so firstly, in fact, you do in the chest find a little neatly folded up bag.
God dang it. You play for this.
And it is a bag of holding.
Thank God.
However, that is not all that's in the chest. Do you all know what a decanter is?
I do.
Yeah.
Nope.
It's a decanter
it's basically like a big jug for putting water and stuff in.
Yeah. You'll know those little you'll know those bottles that'll be cork. Those glass bottles that will sometimes have alcohol in them with a big cork with another piece of glass. That's pretty much what a decanter is.
It's a fancy man's thing.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
And it's very finely crafted, but also it is absolutely filled to the brim with water.
Interesting.
And I'm going to go ahead and post what exactly y'all got in the chat here. So you might want to get some calculators out or get somewhere to write this down. But
oh boy,
Discord chat or game chat?
Morris,
I'll put it in Discord so that it'll.
This is where you shine. You're the one about golden gold. Is it an endless decanter of water where it just keeps pouring out water?
All right, so here's the question: who's in charge of the bag of holding?
Me. Duh.
Got it.
I mean, to be fair, when we were in Toki's campaign, we all had our own bags of holding for no freaking reason. So, Cure Stick. Oh, info. Let's say it just says Cure Stick, man.
Ooh. Try again. No, I couldn't get it.
Oof.
Well, my debt's paid off now.
You had a debt?
Right now.
Is he posting?
Yeah, he's posting an info.
The other info channel, so it doesn't clog up.
So everybody gets.
Taz immediately retires.
Oh, okay. Jesus, I didn't know that was a thing.
Good lord. Yeah, no, Taz takes his share, retires peacefully in his Smith.
So 140 copper each.
Hold on, let's make sure he writes everything down first.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure we're just piling this into the bag of holding, then we'll sort it later, because I don't know if anyone wants to carry like that much gold and silver and copper on them at any point in time.
Get robbed, immediately lose it all.
Right.
Yeah, you all rolled it really well on this treasure hoard.
Jesus. You know what this feels like? This is when Toki when we restarted the campaign. So it's like, here's all the crap you get. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this?
So, yeah, I think I should trade in my cart and buy a carriage and get that enchanted instead.
There it is. That's all.
Ooh.
I think the endless water is good for me, actually.
Do we have a party loot section of this dang handouts? No? Okay.
Here, I'll make one. And I'll just...
This summer flask was shaken as if it contains water that can weighs 2 pounds. Good. Oh, yeah, that's right. Stream. Geyser. So, you know, I've been really messed up. This is out of character because I actually like this character now because she didn't try to kill us and she's pretty helpful. But she just like popped out and one of us was like, geyser! And just hit her with 30 pounds of water. That would have been hilarious.
Oh, what's his name? Taz. We have 2 horses pulling the cart. You can take one.
It's not the same. Those weren't battle-ready horses. Technically, neither was Kalita, but you know.
I lagged a bit, but are you just piling that in, or are you all divvying that up right now?
I mean, Taz will probably leave his share in the bag of holding, but did you make a handout for it, or?
I'm still making it right now. Did you all decide who's got the bag of holding?
Taz.
Yeah, Taz has it.
Yeah, you all have finally broken out of being poor.
Until we go to a shopping spree.
Also, I totally typoed Moonstone. And as you look in here, you hear a voice from the amulet, and Shala simply says, "Don't worry about me. I've had my fair share of treasure in my time, and I'm sure I'll run into more later. Help yourselves."
I mean, we can set you some aside in the bag of holding if you want.
I don't exactly have much use for it. I tend to just like nice things, not so much the money to acquire nice things.
I mean, we got all these stones. We can leave them for you.
Well, I won't turn down a gift. And I did post the decanter description, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hand the decanter to Fang because, I was gonna hand it to Lawrence, but Fang is the cooking guy. I'm pretty sure he could find more uses for it.
Yeah, don't give the medic clean source of clean water.
Hey, he cooks our food.
Did you y'all? I know you put the rest of the stuff in there. Did you all figure out how much gold you each are getting, etc., or are you putting that in the bag?
Convert all the copper and silver to gold.
We can when we get to a town.
Yeah, in case it becomes relevant on the way there. Then not for now. But
5 of us, right?
Yep.
All right. So what's 99 divided by 5? Or 90 divided by 5?
Okay, I was gonna say I think I did put 99 on accident.
18, I should say.
So we each get 18 platinum. Wait, that doesn't.
And we all get 440 gold. Yeah, it's right. 90 divided by 5.
Yeah, we each get
18 platinum. Are you questioning my math skills?
Yeah. So you get 18 platinum.
Sir, you
440
literally
gold.
Gift horse in the mouth.
What are you talking about, gift horse?
Yeah, 440 gold each, 1,200 silver each. And then 140 copper each.
I'm sorry, how much copper and silver?
1,200 pieces of silver apiece.
Silver, and then 140 copper.
I put that there, so who's taking what out, so I can know what I can put, what is left in the bag of holding.
$440 gold pieces.
440 gold pieces, yeah.
440.
Hey, I can buy a magic weapon.
Silver.
Yeah.
You can find you probably can.
I'll definitely take the 18 platinum, but other than that, I'm leaving the rest of the stuff, my share in the bag of holding.
Wait, was it 14? Was it 400,000 silver or 1,200 silver?
1,200.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was 440 gold, 1,200 silver. And Taz, at one point you talked to a blacksmith about a masterpiece axe. Do you remember what the price was I told you? I can't remember exactly.
Fuck no. Okay.
Oh, can I have the Star Rose quartz?
Star Wars.
No. We're leaving rose quartz alone.
Thank you.
I knew exactly what the reference was. No, Steven Universe, you cannot have rose quartz.
So should we make our way back to town?
Wait, didn't she say that guy you were looking for, we would run into him in here?
She said she had a feeling that you probably would bump into him because she still senses that he's around here.
All right.
I just asked her, you want to kill him?
I have no interest in it.
I'm richer than I ever thought I would be right now.
I think we're all richer than we ever thought we would be.
I could open a restaurant and retire with this money.
So is anyone taking anything out of the gold? I need to know.
I mean, I'm taking my share.
Yeah, I'm taking my share too.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so
everyone's taking
the
share,
the money. I guess.
Well, I'll leave. Yeah, I guess because I'm leaving mine in the bag of holding, so I'm gonna leave mine in there.
Okay, I'll keep it up then.
So there's now just 18 platinum.
What about the potions? Anybody taking those? In case you all don't know what clairvoyance does, I'll post that too for the potion of clairvoyance.
Ooh.
It's pretty similar to what's on your hideout, actually.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And all the potion of clairvoyance does is it just gives you the clairvoyance spell, so there's no special restrictions on the potion itself. Also, here's a fun little description for that potion.
And Fang, you have the decanter, right?
Yeah, I have the endless water bottle.
Later on, I'll ask when we were having rest or something. I'll ask Shalaya which gemstone she wants, so I know which ones to set aside in the bag of holding.
Shalaya.
Dude, by the end of this game, we're gonna have like freaking elementals on our side, freaking just walking around
and
with
hill giant strength is 21 strength for 1 hour.
What is the
technically you already have an elemental on your side.
We have a good elemental.
You know what? Eat a dick.
You're not an elemental, sir. You're half elemental.
And what was what, Soren?
What was the sorry, hold on.
Which still makes you a bitch.
Oh, the potion of clairvoyance. What is that, dude?
Yeah, I posted the description where it says you create an invisible sensor down, and including the eyeball description there. It's pretty similar to what's on your hideout. Basically, you create an invisible sensor within range in a location familiar to you, or in an obvious location that is unfamiliar to you, such as behind a door, around a corner, in a grove of trees. The sensor remains in place for the duration. It can't be attacked or otherwise interacted with. Basically, you can make like a surveillance camera, and it lasts for 10 minutes.
Yeah, remember when Gara went in the ball of sand and this eyeball came out of nowhere and just stared at Sasuke? That's what it is.
And you can it's sort of like a familiar. So while it's up for that 10 minutes, you can use an action to switch between your own senses. Or no, sorry. Actually, you always get the senses of it, but you can use your action to switch between seeing through it or hearing through it.
Gotcha.
So it's pretty much like a snake cam from Splinter Cell. And from what I can tell, let me see, does it have a certain range? It has a 1 mile range, so... And let's see.
What's happening?
There's one last thing.
Oh, he hesitated.
So
it's a mimic.
Yes.
Yes. No. So
maybe I could keep.
No, I almost forgot to mention this. That's why I was trying to think if you all ever moved it. Did you just set the urn to the side after you lit it and moved it off the sarcophagus, or?
Oh, did you light it?
I think someone lit it.
No, I never lit the urn. I just left the things on the ground.
Oh, my bad. Well, I should have mentioned that. Shall I explain that the way you open that is by lighting the urn, the sarcophagus? So it would have been.
Oh.
Yeah, so it
So
was sort of.
So we did do that.
Yeah, I was just wondering where you put it afterward because it was on top of the sarcophagus.
I think we just set it next to the sarcophagus.
Okay. So Lawrence.
No, it can't be good.
I want you to give me an investigation check with advantage real quick. Or I should say a nature check with advantage. Because this has to do with your alchemy that you've been reading.
Ooh, wow. Oh my fucking god.
Double nat ones and double fours.
Oh my god.
Jesus. That's amazing.
That is.
Well, it was nice knowing you, Lawrence.
Hi, Lawrence.
Tell Funhouse my regards.
So you look at these puffs. You look at these puffs coming out from the urn. And you could have swore that you remember reading something about a similar ingredient in your alchemy book, but you can't quite remember what it was.
Do you want us to take it till you remember what it was, or?
Can I look through my book real quick? My alchemist book?
It would take... I'd say it'd take you probably 5 or 10 minutes to flip through, but if you want to, you certainly could.
You guys mind if we wait for a moment?
Sure. I mean, we've got a little bit of time. While he's doing that, I talked to Shalaya about how she has plans to no pun intended, burn this place to the ground.
She says, just be a deer and wait for the fireworks. I work in mysterious ways.
Are you God?
However, I would suggest taking anything that you plan to hang on to out of here, because I'm not entirely sure that we'll be returning anytime soon.
Can I look around for like non-burning corpses of the last poor bastards who were here?
Look at the burning fire that doesn't burn.
So you look around and you don't see any corpses necessarily, but you see places where, char marks in the ground and scraps here and there, which make you think that there were people here. That you remember what happened with the pyromancer earlier, and it looks like there were people here who got vaporized in a similar fashion.
So I can gather this fire is magical, but there's no way for me to take it, right?
Are you asking that, or?
I'm asking because, I know it doesn't burn, but it's kind of like continual flame, only larger.
Shalana says, well, that's. You'll hear a kind of a pop, and the necklace is still around you, Soren, but the light fades, and it's no longer a red medallion. It's just kind of dull and lifeless, and she reappears. She kind of reaches her arm out and sticks it in the flame, and then draws it up, and the brazier loses its luster and goes dark, and it forms around her neck, and it forms into a section of hair, and she says, you get the idea now?
Oh. Never mind then.
she nods and snaps and returns to her medallion. The red begins to glow again. Lawrence, you look through your book.
I fondled the elemental.
Lawrence, you look through the book, and what you see is... Gotta think of something great to call this.
Burning ash.
Carbon dioxide.
Skooma. Fire salts 2.0.
Incinerating powder. And you look closer. Yes. You look at it and you mess with it, and in fact, you take a little handful, and as the book instructs, you cast it across the room, and it pops and sparkles like firecrackers almost. And in large quantities, you know that this is used by dwarven engineers and gnomish engineers to clear out parts of mountains and mines, and this is essentially the ingredient to make a Forgotten Realms bomb. And more or less, you just discovered gunpowder. Yes, it's not too common in places like this, like your book says, and like it generally is up north because mostly it comes from the dwarves and the gnomes. But sometimes you see it passed around here, and it seems like they got their hands on it and were using it to. They were using it to sort of fuel a lot of these things. Upon closer inspection, there seems to have been a sort of glass barrier there, transparent or semi-transparent anyway, that kept that flame from touching the powder all the way. Although what did touch didn't seem to ignite it due to the fact that this flame is not exactly regular flame. However, that sufficient force and or the regular flame would in fact send this up in basically the equivalent of a fireball explosion. You're not quite sure the means on how to construct anything with it. However, you know that it is used to make these things, and you find quite a large quantity of it. And so I'm going to say that assuming you gather it in vials or small packages, you could get... We'll say 4. We'll say you could get enough to fill 4 little containers with this incinerating powder.
We do have empty healing potion vials.
Yeah, I think Lawrence has a bunch of vials anyway with his kit. So
more containers.
Yep. And unless you all are looking around for anything more specific, then that's pretty much all that catches your eye for now.
Yep. So we know everyone else, it's time to go.
Yep. Guess that's it for now until we get to the next evil lair of element.
You guys ready to go to the water temple from Zelda?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
All right, so heading out.
Collapse.
See, y'all were so angry about me. Y'all were so like, see what you did by lighting the freaking thing? We got an elemental ally out of it.
Little as you know, she's gonna betray you.
Yeah, I don't know if I trust her 100%.
For all we know, we'd be resurrecting the evil guy or some other.
She's passionate. She's passionate about her.
All right, so you say for sure you guys are heading out now?
Yep. Just one quick check if I don't see anything else. Let's go. Let's go. We pretty much raided everything we could.
All right, so you return without event. But as you climb the stairs to the outside,
Firebolt.
I'm just gonna put your tokens next to each other, and you all can arrange them in march in order. As you return to the outside, you're greeted with a strange sight. As awaiting you is a man in a large cloak with a strange spiked mask that curves out in different directions. It almost looks like the face of a dragon at first, but upon closer inspection, it's something different. Leans against the crumbled stone wall in front of you all and just watches for now. And you all can arrange yourselves however you come out.
Excuse you, sir. I'm up front. Get the hell out of here.
You don't know where I am.
You can be up. Yes, I do.
Get them in there, girl. Pick a slot.
Necro gives no shit about what you want. No, correction. You don't know where I am. But I'm in
Orange
front.
is like, I'm a second level cleric. You didn't know I was waiting to do this the whole time. Teleport's behind you.
You're already dead, Nani.
I'm gonna take a shot in the dark that I have no idea who this fucker is.
Yep, he just has his hands clasped loosely together. He's holding what appears to be a paper in his hands rolled up, and he's just kind of leaning casually against this wall, waiting for you all to come out.
It's that one dude from Slipknot.
Yes, totally.
Fireball. Scorching ray.
You can't just solve all your problems with fireball.
I can and I will.
All right.
Says the person that can't even cast fireball.
Because he definitely doesn't. He doesn't engage with you all for now.
Just kind of stare at him.
Kind of woke up, poked the mask.
Now we just
Hello.
We'll just go in a single line, just ignore the guy.
Nope, I walk up and poke his mask.
Okay, as you get closer, he leans his head around a bit and gently places a hand on your wrist, kind of trying to push it aside, and says, good evening. I see you all seem to be looking for something here. You left quite the mess. And he says it in this very, it's not super, he's not trying to be, dramatic, but it definitely sounds practiced. It's got, you recognize it, Ty. It's very noble manner of speaking. Pretty elegant. He's got kind of a posh accent.
Let me guess, you're from the Lord's Alliance?
Not quite.
Damn. Then why the mask?
I do have a message, but also something else. Firstly, you're Mr. Rose, I presume.
Yes.
He keeps the paper he's holding, but he reaches and draws an envelope from within his cloak and holds it out to you and says, I believe your presence has been requested elsewhere. You'll... Not quite sure. You see, I haven't been given all the information. I'm simply a messenger on that front, but it appears it's coming from the city. So.
Hey, once again, Toki's characters is leaving.
Shut up. I opened the letter. Or envelope, or whatever it is.
It says, from a group of associates, you'll know who we are. It appears that in your absence, some of the crowd has grown bold within the city and seem to think preying on the populace has become easy again. If you could make your presence known and perhaps lend yourself to an excavation or lend yourself to a project for a short time of ours, it would be much appreciated.
I recognize this handwriting.
And it's definitely a lot of the rings that you know and run with, especially around properties that you've owned. Some old friends and associates and things that you've done plenty of crime busting with. It's another one of these Batman leaves and Arkham gets rowdy type deals.
My city, it needs me. Technically, I'm Nightwing and Samson is Batman.
Wait, Samson's here?
Samson's the one that sent the letter.
Oh, sweet.
Maybe he is, maybe he's not. Maybe he's not. Who knows?
Relel's here somewhere. What the hell?
And
Relel, what the hell?
He has this somewhat casual smile, but then he drops it and he stands up straight and takes a more serious tone. He says, "As for the rest of you, if you wouldn't mind, I'd like your attention for just a moment. I have a very serious matter to discuss."
I'm sorry, what?
He walks forward a bit and says, "Now, don't be mistaken, I don't exactly have much of a relationship with this crowd that you see here," and he gestures to the corpses. "However, my people and theirs do share certain similarities, and it would be an awful, awful unfortunate thing if you all were to mistake us for them and lash out. So, you see, make sure to do your research, and if you happen to stumble upon a shipment of any more strange goods, perhaps sometimes when it strikes you as strange, out of character, let it pass and we won't have problems. And I'm sure you all may find this as strange, and you'll not take this kindly from this lone stranger offering what sounds like a threat. So instead, I extend you an olive branch and, in fact, bring you a peace offering." And about this time, nobody else hears it but Sword, and you hear it in your head at first. And then after a moment, the other party members hear it in their heads. Shalala says to you that she does not recognize this person. However, he definitely has a very strange air around him, certainly elemental in nature. But after a moment, he gestures to his right, takes this solemn look on his face, purses his lips under his mask, snaps his finger, and give me a second to get this.
Is it just me, or does this guy look like a dragon cultist?
I know, right? That's exactly what he is.
Is he an air elemental?
Is he an earth elemental? The earthbender?
Who knows?
You know why he looks like a dragon cultist? You know why he looks like a dragon cultist, Mark?
He
is a dragon cultist.
Down. and pull your assets forward.
I need an adult.
I am an adult.
No, you are not.
He snaps his fingers, and out of nowhere, it seems to materialize. It definitely wasn't a matter of invisibility. It's like this person wasn't there, and then they were. A hooded figure hunched over appears and falls to his knees out of breath.
Oh, hi, Toki's new character.
He coughs and seems to scramble at the ground for the moment. But as he goes to move forward, this masked man just reaches down a hand, places it on his shoulder, and holds him there, and says, Now, I think these fine people have business with you.
Is it a name I would never remember because his name is stupid?
Is it the guy that we've been looking for over here?
Barrel Straws?
Don't know. He's got a hood on. Why don't you take a look?
As walks up behind and takes the hood off.
Soren, you recognize the pale, disheveled mustache somewhat grown back, and very nervous and anxious face of Beryl Strauss.
This dude did not seem shocked that I was behind him this whole time. This dude's a badass.
So, Strauss, what is your game? What have you been up to?
He coughs and looks up and scrambles to his feet and says, Who are you?
I flex.
I am a shadow. Don't worry about me. But what are you doing? You keep meddling in our affairs.
Meddling in your affairs? I've merely been tending to my own business.
Can I intimidate him?
Can certainly try.
The Flex twins over here.
So you just got popped out of nowhere. Would you say?
Yeah, I put my hand on his shoulder just while Fang starts flexing forward. He's got a pillar in front of him and a pillar behind from behind. What's he gonna do?
Ay.
Sounds like he's being towered right now. You guys are kind of weird.
Here's a question. Concerning the situation, would I get advantage?
I mean, you're going to get advantage anyway because Taz is assisting you. So
Gotcha.
Yeah, we just got the menacing kanji coming off of us.
Look at the Flex twins go.
I say he's scared. Oh my god, what is that?
Oh, what the fuck is that photoshopped hat?
Don't worry. Hang on, a lag, I think.
That is amazing. I hate it, but it's amazing.
I don't know what is going on. What the fuck is that?
What did I just post the wrong thing?
Is historical fuck with a photoshopped hat.
This nigga right here looks like he's commanding a revolutionary army.
That is our fine Beryl Strauss. Minus the hat right now. He doesn't quite have it, but that's his nice face. Sorry, you did roll your intimidation. He starts to sweat profusely and he wipes at his forehead and says, Okay, what is it that you want to know? Tell me. Ask me directly. Don't dally.
Soren, what do you want to ask him?
Honestly, we just kind of want some help with figuring out this world-ending stuff, and hopefully you have more information about mages, and also can you help us with our some projects in the sewers in the city?
He gets this defensive look on his face, and he says, What? You interrogate me about my business, then expect me and accuse me of supporting...
Sit down.
he just collapses.
I mean, it's better than just, leaving you dead right here with all these bodies.
People could get the wrong idea if they see a bunch of cultists and hellhound remains.
Around this time, you notice that the masked man he grabs Beryl Strauss by the collar and pulls him over a bit. Not enough that he's standing, but enough that he's looking up to face you, and pats him on the back and says, "Well, I imagine you all will have a nice conversation from here on."
Is there any symbol we should look out for to keep our nose out, keep from destroying your business?
I have a feeling you'll find it when the time comes. You have some sharp ones in your group.
Oh, eat your fucking skull matter.
He walks past you and places a hand on your shoulder as well and says, "Just know that if they bear a symbol that proudly, it's probably not me. And unless you all stop him, he's going to walk out."
What's that guy about? Okay.
No, Ty's like, can I get a ride back to Waterdeep?
He says, "I'm sure you can find your own way. If not,
I can throw you.
I'll arrange for someone to pick you up."
Uber.
Basically.
Cool.
And with that, he raises his hand, reaches out as if he's opening a door, and you promptly see a door-shaped hole to the abyss open. He walks through and closes it behind him.
Do you have any horses?
It looks like space, and he just closes it behind him and is gone.
I just imagine like when he's goes, "Wait, do you have any horses?" Oh.
And you all didn't seem to notice it while he was here, but as soon as he leaves, you feel like a burden has been pulled off your shoulder. And what you realize now is that there was this immense magical pressure that was just surrounding the entire area.
His Rianzi was putting us down. Exactly, his Rianzi was holding us down. Jesus Christ!
As for
Beryl, why are we all on the same page?
As for Beryl, however, he says, sorry, did anyone reply when he said, "You expect me to help you?" And then
I told him to sit.
Fang said, "Sit down." Right? Did anyone?
Yeah. Then someone said something about we could leave you here with these dead bodies, and I said, "Yeah, it'd be kind of it's be kind of suspicious if your body's laid out here dead with all these other cultists and hellhound remains. People might start getting the wrong idea about you, or the right one."
What evidence do you have that I'm at all corresponding with these fools?
He's dead here.
You're dead with them, covered in their manifesto. As I start undressing one of the bodies.
Oh.
He says, "You would frame me."
Over to Lawrence. Why do you guys hate this guy again? And whisper to him.
Well, Tyen. I know Tyen didn't like him, so that's all the reason we needed it.
Soren recognized him, and he was thrown in with those purple cloaked guys that attacked you all.
Gotcha.
What?
He says,
"Am I having a stroke?"
Fine. What is it you need help with?
Guys, what do we need help with the sewers, permits, and shit?
We need to buy a building. We need to find out about wizards. We need to lock down a sewer.
We need to get supplies into the sewer.
We needed to buy a shop.
That was or a warehouse.
Yeah, well, the shop was connected to the warehouse, which is connected to the house.
That's fair.
He says, "Business, is it?" Well, I'll have to return to town safely in order to orchestrate that.
Oh no, it wasn't that we needed to find him for evil things. It's like we needed to find him because we wanted to know information about something. Wow, we've been treating this dude like. No, I think it was we were trying to find out how to get in with the plumbers guild sent us. Talked about him, I know.
I guess when you guys referred to him before that.
I think we did. I think it was something
basically,
with
you found out there was this Beryl Strauss guy that seemed to be up to no good, and he was thrown in and possibly orchestrating some of the events. Yeah, he started making trouble in the neighborhood, and then you also found out that his neighborhood happened to be the Plumbers Guild, which you were trying to get in with. So now you have multiple reasons to find this guy.
I go. So those purple cloaks, what's that about?
He gets this look of terror on his face, even more than he already had. It almost seems like he's more afraid of them than of the imminent threat of a half-orc barbarian. And he says, "I'm sworn not to speak on that."
Well, you may be sworn not to speak on that, but you do realize we could kill more people than just you and the purple cloaks.
Put it this way, are they spying on you right now? Do they keep tabs on you?
Well, they would have, but that infernal masked man took everything I had when he captured me, and so I'm left with nothing that would allow me communication.
So, how would they know you were to talk unless we told them? And if we just told them that you said something, that you talked, then, well, they'd be after you anyway.
Believe me, they're no slouches when it comes to investigation. If they want to know something, they'll find it.
So how about this? You either help us out, or I'm going to give you a ride on the helicopter.
Okay, even though they're intimidation with advantage.
I was going to say we're just going to throw them in the ruins and have her collapse it.
I'm building off the Fresh Prince bullshit. Damn.
What's a helicopter?
Before.
Those were two really bad rolls.
He says, "Fine, I'll tell you something at least. I won't name any names, but it's true that they've come from Neverwinter. They're sanctioned by the crown, and in fact, many of those who worked under the former king, those who were employed by the crown before the siege, have been repurposed as inquisitors."
The purple cloaks.
I do know
what
that they've
they?
taken. Well, I do know that they've taken many prisoners and introduced them into the service. But as for what they are, don't know exactly. But I can tell you one thing, one pressing matter that even I was squeamish about when they brought it up. However, if I'm to tell you this, you have to promise my safety. At least until we get back to the city. From there, you all leave me alone.
I look at the others.
I mean, we kind of need him, but I don't know. Not that important.
We might need you for in the city for under the table stuff. Again, we do have some things in the sewers that need to be outfitted. and maybe help
so
find.
long as no harm comes to me or those around me, that's sufficient, even if I have to work with you again.
Yeah, I mean, we might be inclined to pay you for some of your services as well.
Then come close. Let me not speak this out loud.
Keeping a steady eye on this fuck.
Okay. So as you all approach, he leans in and lowers his voice and says, again, I won't name names, and this name is one that even I don't know, but it said that a member of the guard, the royal guard from before the war and the revolution, they've been introduced into these purple cloaks, this Inquisition, and they're training their own unit now, a group of, if you will call it that mage hunters. And it's said that they've already deployed on their first mission. I know that they left to head south less than a week ago. It's possible that some of them have already made it to Baldur's Gate, but they've certainly put a stranglehold on the roads between the two cities where most of the wizards still travel.
Shit.
Yeah, I think I got confused. I wasn't asking about who the purple clerks were. I was asking about the cloaks themselves because, he put one on and tried to break him. Would fuck him up.
He says, partially a sign of loyalty and membership, partially a means to spy on the members. You see, to anyone, it clings onto them and allows those in command to see and hear, but to those who are loyal and swear an oath and jump through hoops that even I'm not privy to, it also grants them particular powers. No doubt you've seen the effects that these cloaks have had on magic. And of course, you recall that, and he explains further. Not only that, but it's said that these mage hunters or wizard hunters, however you could call them, have designed weapons and perhaps even trained beasts for the same purpose. It's quite sinister, you see. Now they've not only learned to disable magic, but even to reverse it and turn it against the caster. And it seems that soon the decree will be given. Soon the decree will be given that if the rumors are to be believed, it will be nigh entirely outlawed to practice magic around Neverwinter. And of course, as you can tell by the previous reign and the increasingly draconic reign of our current majesty, they seem to have no problems with underhanded dealings with the city-states, even though the city-states themselves would never allow it. The crown always finds its way.
That's insane. There's no way they could pull it off.
And we put him in power.
Could they?
Yeah, just look at Lawrence and Soren and go, and we put him in power.
Yeah, well, we didn't know what was happening at the time, so all bad, but not all bad. I don't know.
Not sure. You must have heard. The king doesn't seem to be himself lately. It's said that
God damn it.
He hardly leaves his chambers anymore, and
we're doing that storyline.
And even furthermore, he rarely speaks to his advisors, so it's quite unclear.
I want to guess, except for the one creepy old man or really seductive woman.
No, it's said he talks to himself most of the time, but it's hard to confirm.
Yeah, this is like how it started last time with the old king. It's not good.
Not good at all. Well, we've learned all we can. Well, all you can, or what all you're going to tell us. So a deal's a deal. Chop off his head. No, can just kind of help him stand back up and go back to some town.
He looks nervous, but he seems somewhat reassured, and he sticks close to you, Taz, because he doesn't necessarily trust the others.
The only one threatening not to kill him was Taz. That's
the freaking bugbear.
Taz was not threatening to kill him. That's so messed up. Well, Lawrence didn't, because Lawrence is Lawrence doesn't kill people.
Lawrence will beat him to death with the healing stick of doom.
Lawrence had this stoic face behind his back. He was crossing his fingers. He was like, "Please don't let me do any more medicine today, dude. Please don't hurt this guy. It's too much trouble."
I'd have to heal him. Please no. Head back to Neverwinter. Then we'll go from there. Oh, not Neverwinter. Waterdeep. Yeah, leave me alone.
If you want to head back to Neverwinter, you can certainly do that.
Sir, R'Lel's in Neverwinter. I just learned Samson is still here. I'm thinking about it.
It's a possibility, man. Anyway,
we're heading back to Waterdeep.
Where did you leave Kalita exactly?
I buried her out in the woods.
Was it way, way off to the side, or was it somewhat on the way?
It was somewhat on the way, because I kind of when I just walked in the woods for a couple feet, just to the nearest tree and just buried her there.
Okay.
There goes your fire horse.
Yeah. Father comes back as a freaking nightmare. Oh my god.
Yeah, but it's an enemy. It is the king.
Oh god.
So on the way, Soren, you hear a voice. And it comes from Shala, and she says, "What's your name, Soren, is it?"
Yeah, my name is Soren.
I see. Well, Soren, my dear, would you, and be discreet about it, would you gather some of the remains over there, and you see sort of in the reflection of this medallion, she's pointing towards this building here, and specifically some ashes and things. And she says, "Please try not to make it obvious, but it's for a personal project."
Oh, here comes morality.
What do you want?
She wants you to take on my horse.
Gather those ashes over there. Oh, and
sure.
Those there as well, what's left, and you see the giant char mark where the pyromancer exploded himself. And she says, "Of course, like I said, be discreet about it."
Okay. I'm gonna go to the bathroom, guys. I'll be back.
So bad. So bad.
Then I grab the stuff? I guess I'll be stealthy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not bad.
Oh.
There it is right there. Perfect. Yeah, that's what Kalita actually looks like.
What the hell is that?
That is a mounted chaos board.
What the hell is that from?
Hear that?
From what?
And if you all managed, you all head back, and it seems to go without event for the first night. You all can go ahead and give yourselves the benefits of a long rest, and if any of you want to attune to anything, you have plenty of time to do that. Or if there's anything you want to do over a long rest, those of you who are sitting in the cart can certainly have time to do that.
Who is that, and why is she riding Dialga?
I'm gonna have a shot in the dark and say that is freaking the girl, the Lance girl from Fate's Stay.
Yeah. Oh, that might be why I don't know who the hell that is. Okay.
That's King Arthur, quote unquote.
Yeah, that's King Arthur.
That's a woman. That is a woman.
In Fate's Stay, King Arthur's a woman.
Oh.
Fate's Stay, everyone's a woman, but
95% of everybody's a woman.
Also, if I remember correctly, it is canon. Toki, I think you should either you or Necro posted that freaking that video. What was it? It was made with a source filmmaker, where they talk about how she asked Merlin to give her a dick so she could make an heir.
Yeah, that's true.
That's canon. That's canon in that universe.
Just saying. I just wanted to know why she was writing Dialga.
I don't know. I just found it.
All right.
Dialga looks way more evil than he used to.
Or were you making any detours on the way?
I guess we'd wait for Soren to stop peeing.
Yeah,
why are you taking forever to pee?
Carrying 2 urns.
No, yeah, I'm coming back. I'm back.
And as you guys close to the now largely burnout woods, you start to go to the road, and you see your medallion gets a lot brighter, Soren, and you all promptly feel a bit of a shockwave, and then the ground starts to rumble, and you hear loud pops and bangs, almost like thunderclaps coming from the ruins. And Enchilada says simply, that shouldn't be an issue for the time being.
I just imagine the freaking Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm, where it's just like you hit that thing and it's just like it zooms out to the earth and it's just like this small freaking explosion coming out.
All right. So you all get a long rest as the first night passes uneventfully. You stop partway through to sleep. And on the second day, as you get closer, you get to about here. You're riding along, and you see this strange man. He doesn't look too different from Soren. Seems he's also... he seems almost elven at first, but upon closer inspection, he's not even a half-elf. He's just a human with very elf-like features. And he's strumming on a lute. And regardless of whether or not you ignore him as you pass by on the cart, he yells out and waves and says, "Yoo-hoo."
I check on a potato.
Do I know who this is?
Nope.
No.
As we pass by, I check on a couple of potatoes for food.
He catches them and begins to juggle.
I toss a couple gold to him, about 5 gold.
I challenge him.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Time for this.
I was like, you think you can play a lute? This is how you play a lute. And I was just bang.
Okay.
I just grab Soren's face and put him back in the... No, I'm kidding.
He begins to play, and he seems like he's keeping up with you for a while. And then he promptly snaps one of his strings. And he gets this scowl on his face for a moment. But then he cheers up and he says, Well, I suppose the mighty Brandwick cannot win every challenge. He reaches and draws a small pouch, tossing it toward you, Soren. It has 10 gold inside.
I just gave him 5. What the hell?
I just bow and say, bid you adieu. Thank you.
And as he waves, he says, Don't worry, you'll see me again.
What was his name?
Brandwick. He says, Don't worry, you'll see me again. Be sure of it.
technically, it wasn't that you won; it was that his loot string gave out. Just throwing that out there.
That's his logic, too. And the rest of the trip passes uneventfully. As you return to Waterdeep, just outside of the city, back at the tavern where you all met, you see a few people you know waiting for you.
That kick tie off the cart.
Cast Fireball on it. Ruins the food.
Nah, I just grab his leg and use Inflict Wounds so he has a hobble for the rest of his life.
No, grabs his leg and uses Enlarge Reduce so he has one long leg and one short leg.
If only I had took that spell.
But yeah, they're hanging out there.
But I get off the cart. Don't worry, fellas. I'll send you somebody that's handy capable.
Oh God, they're gonna be handy. He's sending it's Jimmy.
Level 7 handyman.
Riley or Jimmy's.
So Ty takes his leave of the party.
All right.
Motherfucker, what is it with you and having 5 characters for each campaign? This is a trend.
Look, man, I just want to point out, he left last time he did this. You came in and we got ghosted.
Yep, see you later. Deletes account.
Pulling exactly a Roman. I'll delete my whole Discord this time.
That's what I'm saying. You changed characters. Rave came in, and then all of a sudden, Roman was gone.
I devoured his soul.
But as you all pass through the city,
is mine.
As you all pass through the city gates, and of course this will apply for your new character as well, Toki. You find and barrel Strauss and meeting Shalai, bringing all this loot back with you. You, Lawrence, for example, being able to pay off your debt and learning a bit more about alchemy. You all feel pretty accomplished, and having made it back safe with, unfortunately, the loss of Khalida, but otherwise no major lasting injuries. You feel the nice, cool breeze of level 7 pass over you.
Dramatic finish.
Destructive finish. So I say y'all do whatever y'all want, and then y'all just have this guy walk up to you.
Yep. And we can do a quick little thing for that, and we'll call it.
Yep.
Yeah, so what's the new guy look like?
The new guy looks like... Where's the Discord?
I'm telling you, man, we're going to come next session. We're going to be like, hey, it's going to be the same thing. I'm going to be like, hey, guys, where the hell is the Roll20 campaign? I haven't seen Kenji around.
Oh, guys, the Antichrist.
It's like if Paprika was evil.
I know that character.
Oh, Kenji, you were so messed up.
Fucking A, dog.
Oh my god.
That character was just introduced in the episode I just watched of Fairy Tail.
Wow, nice.
Oh, right. I don't watch Fairy Tail.
Bro,
Dude, no spoilers.
I've been known about this character for like months now.
Dude, no spoilers, man. I'm watching the show week by week.
Why don't you
I
just
am
read the
too
manga?
now
Like,
because I'm pissed off that I caught up.
didn't it end?
It did not.
We are in the final season.
I meant the manga.
Yeah, the manga ended like a year ago. Or
Then
2.
why didn't you just read the manga like normal people?
Because I
Because
want to
fuck
see
you,
it
that's
come to
why.
life, fucker.
Fuck you. That's
Just
why.
turn the pages really fast. But as you all return to the Sellers Guild, just outside, I suppose, by this time, Ty probably would have sent to meet up with you all, considering I doubt he would have sent straight to the hideout that he can't see. So
He'd be like, where the hell is it? He said it was supposed to be around here. Where the hell is it?
You come back and fucking splats a splatter on the wall. Splat, no!
he's like, I saw where rat attacking your hideout. I thought I'd take the initiative.
Oh no, we didn't tell him about him.
Yes, why don't you give a quick introduction, Toki, and then we'll wrap it up.
So as you come down the stairs of the whatever fucking building, there's a guy standing there at the end of the stairs. His abdomen is pretty much covered in bandages. He's wearing a pirate hat, and he's covered from head to foot in tattoos of the Christian variety.
What the hell is Christianity?
Yes, I suppose the equivalent in this would be what's his name? I don't know. Anyway, I guess the equivalent of Forgotten Realms is you see very Neverwinter, very Waterdeep-esque common cathedral habits and designs.
I guess you're the ones that Ty says need some help.
Well, he was very helpful in certain situations. I mean, really, it was his money that we loved the most. He was very rich.
Wow. I was joking, but wow.
I mean, let's be honest.
Wasn't Fang technically hired by him?
Probably.
Well, Fang now has a reason to stay around because Fang is getting money from us. Like, he's just like, hey, stay around these guys. Money falls from the sky.
But what skills do you possess? How can you help us?
I'm pretty good at killing things. I have a boat.
Oh my god, he's a ranger.
Do you say bow or a boat?
B-O-A-T.
Yeah.
Oh, he has a boat.
Yeah.
Not the biggest boat in the world, but a sizable boat. A decent boat.
No, the size of the boat is the motion of the ocean.
He bows, taking off his hat and crossing across his chest. Captain Darius J. Stone at your service.
Well, Captain, we're working on a couple things. Why don't you come and check out our secondary residence?
Be delighted.
You say that until you're covered shit.
Boy, I spent money. I got the next shit already, but I gifted it to him.
And Lawrence, do you pay off your debt immediately or do you wait?
Yeah, I pay it off immediately.
All right, so you can go ahead and mark that gold off then and mark the debt off. The smith just thanks you and, he asks if the armor has served you well.
Yes, it has.
He says that he's glad to hear that, and he hopes that it continues to serve you.
Before we go, can I learn
And
how
of
to
course,
use fire salt without ruining the food?
I'll say that Yeah, I'll say that probably over the. Go ahead and give me cooking utensils roll for during that long rest for one.
It's a. You're gonna have to tell me with what ability.
Wisdom. You can do wisdom.
So how soon am I gonna need to buy another pot for him since he's not things like holding pure fire salt?
Okay.
Damn.
So you mess around with it and you try a few things, not enough to take away the quantity, but just here and there to see how it mixes. And over that night, you figure out a couple ways that you think it might work, and you haven't made the main course yet, but you're relatively confident that you could pull off making an actual full course, a full dish with fire salts without ruining it. You've been making smaller ones on the side, appetizers, if you will, and they've turned out pretty all right, although very, very hot to the point where to a normal person, it would probably seem terrible and just overspiced, but to someone who really, really is into spicy things, it's certainly well made.
How's the pot?
It's actually holding up pretty well. It's kind of got some scorch marks here and there. You'd have to do some real scrubbing and cleaning to get it back to its prettier state, but it's functionally all right. It's structurally sound.
All right, so we lead him down. We make him drink the swill. Drink the swill. Drink the swill.
Yep, Splat welcomes you all home. And is there anything you all would like to have your characters do down here between now and next session, or anything in the city, anything like that could be taken care of?
Chaz would probably send a letter back to his smithery to make Smithy to see how things are going, but that's about it.
Okay, and Soren, I'll have something dealing with you next session.
Okay.
Because on your way into the city, you were stopped and told that your presence was requested at the Underdark Tavern. So.
Oh yeah, I probably would have gone back there anyway, just to report on the news.
And unless there's anything,
if we're doing shit that would be in between, I guess. I guess I'd look for.
Yeah, because you all got here around noon or so. So anything you would want to do over the course of the day, so that we'll start fresh next session.
Gotcha. I learned how to cook with fire salt, so I guess the other thing I could do is go to find a magic shop or something, like look for a magic weapon or something. I don't know, because apparently I'm not going to
find that here.
Yeah, you look around, but all you know from everywhere you see, the only person here in Waterdeep who still openly practices magic, and even honestly in some of your shady underhanded dealings, the only person you can see that still seems to deal with magic in Waterdeep on anything more than just a simply personal level is that wizard who requested the fire salt dish. So,
gotcha.
Oh, well, there you go.
Should I do that, or should we save that till next time?
The encounter next time, yeah, because
gotcha.
it'll probably be a semi drawn out thing, and it'll be an actual conversation. So,
where's my dex? Dex is 13.
Ooh, do I keep going down Bard, or do I get a new Warlock level?
Yeah, it's my. Well, that was the decision I had to make. Do I get a